Thank you for joining me for the third episode of my asset score. I am not a financial advisor, so I am not providing you with financial advice. If you're going to make investment decisions, please talk to a financial advisor. And as always, you should always do your own research. This is just my take on these stocks and just kind of my thoughts. So today I'm going to talk about one of my investments, which is Tesla and NIO. These are two EV car companies. Obviously, I think everyone knows about Tesla. And NIO is a Chinese car maker. Um, so you are not investing in these based on fundamentals because the fundamentals do not make a lot of sense. These are both what we consider growth stocks. You are paying a huge multiple, not just of future earnings per share, but even just future sales. You're paying a huge multiple on that. So we call these story stocks, and we're really investing in, do we believe the story that's being told on these? And I think a good question to ask is this, or is something similar a story that's been told before? So in this case, I think there is a similar story. I think there used to be the cell phone market, and you have cell phone companies like Nokia and Motorola, and you can see these two. I had both of these phones. This old Nokia, I think it was like an 8610 or something, and this is the Motorola Razr. Both great phones, but the writing was on the wall when you saw a smartphone, and when you saw the first iPhone and the functionality and the capacity of what it could do, it was a pretty quick demise for both of these makers, even though they had huge market share. So is this story being told, the same cell phone story where Apple, I think, is kind of the dominant high-end phone maker, and then Samsung, I think, came in under the like an Android platform and took a huge market share. And for many years, and most years, I think they've been the biggest producer of cell phones. Apple's kind of taken the really high margin products and the high margin ecosystem, but Samsung makes high end phones too. But they've also made like a broader range of phones. I think Apple's kind of getting more into that game, but it's just kind of this analogizing of this kind of two player dominance in the market, and then you have a bunch of other players who have smaller shares. I think this story might be being retold right now, in that Tesla would be the Apple, really focusing on the kind of the high end margins and the high end ecosystem. And NIO, I think, has a chance to become Samsung, where they have high end products as well, but they're probably not going to have the same brand value as Tesla. Although, at some point they could have a comparable car like EV ecosystem, but it seems to me like Tesla's got such a far lead right now that maybe this is the story that'll be told: is Tesla's number one, and then NIO's number two, and then we'll have some backfill with Rivian and all these other car companies that are coming to market. The other reason why I think it's important to kind of analogize is that it's not just in terms of market exposure, which products dominate the market. I think there's still some regional issues here, and that a lot of countries don't necessarily want foreign mega powers in the transportation industry because it's such a vital industry. I don't see every country just saying, "Oh, okay, Tesla, you can have a 90% share here." I think there'll be some domestic competition, and I think that will probably mean that countries will prop up domestic makers just because they don't want to be so reliant on a foreign car EV maker controlling the whole market. I think some examples of this is, obviously, we've heard of Amazon, and Amazon is incredibly dominant in the US in terms of online sales. But Amazon's tried to go into several other countries, and it's been a much tougher road for them. In China, I think like Alibaba and JD.com have fended off Amazon pretty well. Coupang is from Korea. Mercado Libre is in South America. I think Amazon actually has a fairly sizable stake in Mercado Libre. But again, I think there will be some artificial support by countries either wanting to produce like secondary players just to protect kind of the transportation industry from being dominated. And also, they might do this from an investment perspective. A lot of countries have sovereign wealth funds. Singapore and Dubai both have massive sovereign wealth funds, and maybe they'll see an opportunity investing in a secondary company. And so this is another reason why I think NIO has a real shot here at becoming the number two player. One, they're already getting a lot of support from their government in terms of helping them even manufacture the cars. You also seen big investments from Tencent, which is a massive Chinese tech company, as well as some other companies too that have dumped in a lot of money into NIO. And so I think there's a real big interest from a lot of other large players wanting NIO to succeed. And so that's again another reason why I think there'll be a filling in of some other players. XPeng just went public a couple days ago. And there's a lot of other cars that maybe they're being a little more niche in terms of what they're targeting initially. Obviously, Rivian's backed by Amazon, and Lucid's coming out with like a high-end luxury car. But I think this will really... My expectation, though, is that this will still be the story of Tesla and NIO being similar to Apple and Samsung, at least over the next few years. And this is the story I see playing out. And so that's why I hold investments in both of these companies, even though the fundamentals may not necessarily make the most sense. So if you have any comments or your own perspective on this, I'd love to see them in our comments. I'd love to have you subscribe and become a contributor to this community. And I just, best of luck to everybody, and I hope you all do really well. Just do some research on any investment you make. Yahoo Finance or Google Finance, I think both have a lot of good free information. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you for the next episode.